Hey everyone. As we continue on with the month of Noirvember, it's time to get a different point of view, pun intended, with that classic 1947 Bogey and Bacall film, Dark Passage. Now, convict Vincent Perry, Humphrey Bogart, has escaped from San Quentin prison. Now, after the cops drive past his hiding place, he hitches a ride with passing motorist Baker, Clifton Young. However, that ride is short-lived as they hear Vincent's description on the radio, which forces him to knock out Baker. While Vincent changes into Baker's clothing, painter Irene Jansen, Lauren Bacall, comes up on him and, recognizing who he is, offers him a ride. Now, she gets him past the police blocks and brings him to her apartment, which she offers as a place to hide out. Now once, while she is out, a mutual friend, Madge Raff, Agnes Moorehead, comes to the door, but he turns her away. Fearing the possibility of having been discovered, Vincent decides to leave that night and takes a cab. Now the cabbie, Sam, Tom DeAndrea, I think, recognizes him, but is on his side and offers to take him to a plastic surgeon. While Sam is making the arrangements, Vincent drops in on his friend, George Felsinger, Rory E. Mallinson, and makes plans to stay at his apartment. Now, after that, Vincent goes to the plastic surgeon, Dr. Walter Coley, Housley E. Stevenson, who does some work on his face. After he is all bandaged up and given his instructions by the doctor, Vincent is taken back to George's apartment by Sam. However, once he's in the apartment, Vincent is horrified to find that his friend had been murdered. Feeling he has no other place to turn to, Vincent then walks back to Irene's place. Now on the way, he sees Baker Carr, but does not see Baker himself. But out of sheer exhaustion, Vincent just puts it out of his mind and keeps going towards Irene's apartment building, where he collapses. Irene finds the unconscious Vincent and brings him in. When he wakes up, he learns from the newspaper that he is accused of George's murder, but he is able to convince Irene that he is innocent. After 12 days, she cuts the bandages off his face, and he leaves, with the intention of proving his innocence. He adopts the name of Alan Linnell, but Baker soon finds him anyway and decides to blackmail him. Now Vincent is able to overpower Baker and learns from him that somebody else had followed him to George's apartment before Baker accidentally falls to his death. So, now that he knows who it is, Vincent decides to go off to confront the real killer. Now, Dark Passage was based on a novel of the same name, written by David Goodis, and that had been serialized in the Saturday Evening Post before it was published as a book. Now, for the movie, they did do some location shooting in San Francisco, including places like Irene's house and a diner. But, as I hinted at earlier, this movie is best known for its first 40 minutes, in which we see almost everything from Vincent's, or rather I should say Humphrey Bogart's, point of view. And what we don't see that way is very cleverly disguised by keeping his face in the shadows or keeping him out of sight. Now, of course, the fact that Humphrey Bogart doesn't actually show his face on camera for the first hour originally irritated Jack Warner when he found out. By that time, too much of the film had been done for him to make any changes. Now, personally, I consider Dark Passage the weakest of the 4 Bogey and Bacall films. Now, I'm not trashing the film, as I like it. I'm just saying that the other 3 are really just that much better. I like this film's gimmick of the first-person view for the first 40 minutes, as I think it works with the story. I mean, any other way would essentially have some other actor playing the part with probably Humphrey Bogart's voice dubbed in for them, since they never said anything about the voice being changed or whatever. Now, this way, that's not necessary. But Lauren Bacall is definitely one of this film's strengths, as she gives a great performance here, especially for the first part when she's mainly interacting with the camera, or so it would seem. And Agnes Moorehead is great too, as their mutual friend, if you can call it that, who pretty much makes a nuisance of herself with everybody. Now, the Humphrey Bogart probably is the only one who really suffers here performance-wise, as we don't really get a lot of background info on the character. And so we're kind of stuck going with what Bogart's character type would be, rather than getting a fully fleshed out character. But that's a minor quibble, because as I said before, this movie is one I enjoy, and for that reason I would certainly recommend seeing it. Now, this movie is available on Blu-ray and DVD from Warner Archive Collection, either individually or as part of the 4-film Bogart and Bacall, the complete collection. Now, whether you go with the individual release or the set, the Blu-ray looks fantastic as always, and is certainly the best way to see the movie. The movie itself is 1 hour and 46 minutes in length. Well, that should be all I have to say on this one, everybody, so thanks for listening, and I hope you'll keep tuning in for more.